is the Eye of Sauron. What do you mean you've never heard of Lord of the Rings?
What the fuck? Welcome everyone to the Five Cats Observatory. My name's John, and hopefully tonight we can do a little bit of astrophotography. It's been a while since the skies have been really good enough to even bother making a video about what I'm doing in my back garden. So we'll give it a go tonight. The forecast was promising clear skies, although it has changed to a bit of cloudy now for the next half an hour maybe, and then it's supposed to be clear skies after that. So yeah, so the weather forecast did say that it was going to be clear skies tonight, all night, right the way through till sunrise tomorrow. It's supposed to be a lovely sunny day, and then possibly another clear night tomorrow night. So I thought we'll get the webcam on and whatnot, and we'll have a go at this again. It's been such a while since I've made any videos at all, or videos for YouTube, so try to remember what to do with OBS Studio again. So here we are, anyway, rattling on. So yeah, welcome to the Five Cats Observatory once again, and from the Back Garden Observatory. So tonight I'm not 100% sure what to be doing. It'll depend on the sky, where if it's going to be cloudy or if it's going to be clear all over. I don't know yet. What I did think about doing that I've not actually imaged before is the Eye of Sauron. Let's just see where that is actually. Help if I could spell it right. I'm just looking for something that's reasonably high in the sky for most of the night. There we go. So it's, what time are we at now? 8 o'clock, back 8. So it's at 42 degrees now, that's not too bad. It's something that I've never imaged before, and yeah, it looks like it's going to be quite faint round about, but it's a new moon tomorrow night, and there's no moon, nothing to speak of tonight anyway. So if it is going to be a clear sky later on, I think this would be the best time to try and do something that's not a huge big galaxy that's super bright. As I say, I've never tried this before, so I've got no idea. I mean, it was just a thought. I've done a wee bit of research earlier on galaxies and the occasional nebula that's going to be about, and just try to do something different, maybe over tonight and hopefully maybe tomorrow night, that I've not done before. So that's certainly a contender. It goes up, I mean, it's at 42 degrees and now I think it goes up well past 60 degrees at the meridian, and then only comes down to about 30 degrees. I think something like 5 in the morning or something. It's going to be daylight by then anyway, or certainly too clear to be doing any imaging by then anyway, if I can speak properly. So I think that's certainly a contender. There's other things in the vicinity, but they're all starting to get a wee bit low. Well, not overly low. I quite like the Silver Needle. I've imaged that before, and I would love to do it again and get a good bit of more time on it. In fact, no, I'm talking nonsense. It wasn't the Silver Needle. I've not imaged that at all. It was just the Needle Galaxy. But again, I think it's a bit low actually. And all these ones, Sunflower, Croc's Eye, M106, I've got a good bit of time on those before. Whale Galaxy. I'm really just spending a bit of time on Stellarium now because it's turned a little bit cloudy, so I can't even do a polar alignment or focus or anything now. I did like the whale in the Crowbar Galaxy. It was I can get the two of them in my field of view quite easily, and with a little bit of rotation Go the other way. Go the other way. They can fit in my field of view quite nicely. Yeah, it's a contender as well. It's starting to get a wee bit low though. Well, I mean it's going to climb, but I'm just looking for something that's as high in the sky as possible, just with the seeing conditions. And yeah, I don't know. I've done them. I've imaged them before. So I'm just really looking for something a little bit different tonight. I think when the sky clears and we do an autofocus and a polar alignment and PhD calibration and all that, once we're ready to go, I'm going to go over to the Eye of Sauron and just see what a wee 3-minute exposure looks like, and we'll take it from there. I think so many galaxies to choose from at this time of year. So many choices. So that's the plan anyway. But the way the weather can go here sometimes, the night could be cut short. So we'll just need to see. Just having a wee. I'm just trying to keep a check on the weather outside here as well. As I'm sitting in a little lean-to shed, my little astral shed, which is only maybe, I don't know, 8 feet away from the back garden observatory. There's really not much to see there. I've put the garden into stellarium. Not particularly well, as you can see. I'll need to take another panorama and stitch them up a little bit better. I've got it. The observatory does face north to south, and it's a roll-off roof, a little wooden octagon-shaped observatory I built myself, and it's got 2 half roofs that slide off opposite ways, and yeah, does the job. It's nearly finished. It's been getting built for the last, well, it'll be coming up 3 years. I've been at it this summer. I think August will be the 3-year mark, and it's nearly finished. It's nearly complete. It's getting to the stage. It's just little finishing off things here and there. So it's certainly all watertight and windtight and whatnot, and yeah, all good to go. Telescope is obviously inside. It's just been a terrible year this winter season for astrophotography. So wild, wet, windy weather. And when we've ever had good clear skies, it's generally been on a full moon. Right, I think that's enough scrolling about the now. Yeah, it's sitting over in east, so that's given us a good bit of imaging time. We'll try that first and see how it goes. Right, at the moment then, let's I can see some stars on the little CCTV camera there. Right, let's pick something and maybe even try an autofocus. Get the coordinates from stellarium and we'll do a slewing centre. I have been messing about with a lot of things on the telescope. In fact, just the last couple of nights I had the scope and whatnot in the shed here. Slew and centre. There we go. It's moving now. So what I've got there is a Celestron CPC 800. And I'm using, for imaging, I'm using a ZWO ASI 294mm Pro camera. I've got Bader LRGB filters. No narrowband filters yet, but it's something on the list of things that I'd like to get. So I'm only imaging in broadband now, because that's all I have. What else have we got? So that's the filter wheel. I've got a Celestron off-axis guider with the ZWO 174 mini camera, which is really good. Works well. I've also got a ZWO camera angle adjuster in there. I managed to squeeze it in. Yep, it's badly needing focus. One thing I was doing yesterday was changing the belt on the focuser. So obviously I've been turning the... In fact, I can just stop. That's never going to play itself with stars like that. Yeah, I've moved the focuser a good way out just by putting the belt on it. We'll just stop that. I think I'll manually just focus the stars. Let's do a quick exposure, see what it looks like. So while that's taking that re-image now, so yeah, I was just giving you a rundown on the equipment I'm using. See, right, and where the focuser goes, I've got a massive pulley on it now. I've got an 80 tooth pulley, and the actual focus cube sits way up on the top of the scope here, and I've got quite a long belt that comes down around the tensioner and round the pulley and back up, because it's the only space I've had. Because the camera angle adjuster is right at the back. I've got a 0.63 focal reducer on the back of the telescope, and the CAA is attached straight to that, and then everything after that rotates. So I've really only got about 20mm of space after the focal reducer, and then everything else has to be free space to allow the camera to turn both directions while everything's attached to the back of the CAA, which meant nothing could stick out the back of the focuser at all, and so I had to be a bit creative with the mounting options. But luckily I've already got my little Melee Quieter 4 computer and Pegasus Powerbox Advance sort of USB and 12-volt power box, all mounted on a little aluminium plate that I've made myself. So I just extended that plate with an L bracket, and yeah, mounted the focus cube on the back, and it was it all works really well. Well, that last focus run looked horrendously bad. We'll get a better one later. Right, in all fairness, what's the HFR 3.39. It's actually lower than I usually get. So it just shows you a really shonky looking focus run. To be honest, that's all backlash, to be honest, at the start of it. It's given me a 0.73 hyperbolic R, but the HFR is as low as I usually ever get it. I think we'll just leave that there now, actually. That's quite nice. Okay, just a little test shot. The guidance not too bad for me. I know people are like, oh, I get 0.4, 0.5, 0.6. Usually if I get anywhere close to like 1 point something, I'm doing really well. I mean, I'll go back to the image of the scope. I've got a lot of stuff on this mount. As you say, between the CAA, the off-axis guider, the filter field, the camera, all my equipment on top, what I've just said, the wee computer, the Pegasus power box. I've also got the Celestron aluminium dew shield on the front, and on the very front that you can't see, there's a Wanderer Astro dust cover, flat panel as well. So there's a fair bit of weight on this mount that was probably only originally designed for the scope and an eyepiece on the back for visual, and it's all sitting on a Celestron Pro wedge. So I think if you can keep the guide, and yeah, anywhere around about there's fine for me. Maybe start up a sequence and we need to get going, because it's 8:30 already. I want to try and get as much time on a target as I possibly can. I mean, I'm working tomorrow, so I was going to say I can't be up all night, but I probably will be. If the weather conditions are good, I will sit up all night just to do this, and then just have to not get much of a sleep. I'll be snooze here and there and set my alarm. Luckily enough, this wee astral shed here is big enough to get a little bed in, which I do have. In fact, I'll give you a little bit of a view of the wee astral shed. So yeah, It's quite cosy, but it's got everything in here that I need. And there's also space for a little bed. So if it's all going good, I can usually just set my alarm for an hour and lie down for a wee bit, get a wee nap. I would sleep for longer, but I just can't trust the weather here. Before you know it, it can cloud over, it can rain, it can snow, sleet, hail at a moment's notice. So, because the telescope's mounted on a homemade concrete pier in the observatory, I tend not to really have to do a polar alignment because it never gets touched. But I did have to scope off the mount for work, so it could be doing with getting checked. Let's do a slate and centre. I always like to check it's going the right way. If it's not a million miles away, we'll leave it. If it needs adjusted, we'll need to in and out a few times to adjust it, but it's not a big issue. And once that's done, then yeah, probably another autofocus near the time, but I'll keep a note of that number because it seemed to be quite a good HFR. What I really should be doing is a new calibration with PhD too. It's something that I tend not to do all the time. If it tends to be guiding pretty well the last time I was out, I just leave the same calibration and just keep going. Basically, if it's not broken, don't fix it type of rule. And you end up spending so much time just messing about doing autofocus, calibrations and this and that, and you just really want to start imaging. So usually I wouldn't even bother with this. I just check the polar alignment every now and again if the scope's not been moved, and it always seems to be pretty much perfect. So, but I can see it being out the now since I have had it off the mount. It should be centered now. Yep. Let's start this and see what happens. It should end up pretty close to the meridian. Makes it easier for me to adjust for up, down, right and left if it's sitting pretty much facing south. All the angles are sort of perpendicular to each other. What will the error be? Not too bad. Right, okay. Move left, move down. Okay. Right. Well, as polar alignment goes, that is not bad at all. We shall leave that. That's pretty good. It'd help if I went the right way to start with, but I didn't. I went the wrong way and I had to keep coming back. Right. So that wasn't too bad at all. It wasn't out that far, but I tried to get as close as I could there without messing about for too long. Well, the sky is starting to look really good. I meant to check the tensioner of the belt when I was out there for the autofocuser. I'm going to go and do that now, because if that's a bit loose, it's going to be playing havoc with the backlash. I'll go and do that. Back in a minute again. Yeah, the belt wasn't overly loose, but I tightened it up a little bit. And yeah, let's put the guide in well out there as I was messing about on the back of the scope. Right, let's go for the Eye of Sauron. Search. East. At roughly, what's that? 30, 40, 50, nearly 50 degrees east. Okay, let's have a look. We'll slew over, see what the sky looks like at that point in the sky, and make a start. Hopefully, with the whole sky is looking really nice now. Really nice. We'll do a wee test exposure, see how it looks, and if it's all going to look good, I think we'll go for a sequence. See if the camera angle needs adjusted as well, how it's going to frame up. On framing, the angle is actually at 90 degrees. So yeah, it would look fine the way it is. It's very small. Right, I think we'll do another autofocus. 3153 is the position. I'm going to just put that in there actually. 3153, just so I remember. See if it can do any better. See what the HFR is after that. Because the stars, they were looking a little bit big. But then the SCTs like that, the stars are always, they always look a little bit on the larger side. Maybe not quite as pinpoint, certainly not as pinpoint as a refractor would be. Which is fine in post-processing. You can always reduce the star size a little bit if it's going to detract from the image. We shall see. Straight off the bat, it's looking a bit better. I think the belt was maybe just a little bit on the loose side. And there's a bit of free play before it was actually taking up the focuser. We shall see. I think it's determined the focus position. Is it still going? Still not the best looking of curves. Not that I care, as long as the stars are as sharp as they possibly can be and the HFR's quite low. Hyperbolic R 0.99. Right, okay, it seems to have settled on that. Once PhD settles a little bit, who's getting many stars? Yeah, there's a few to choose from. I've chosen one right at the edge of the field for some reason. Anyway, we shall see. Right, we'll do a 180-second exposure. See how that looks. In the meantime, I'm going to set up a sequence. Just to save a bit of time, because if this looks good, then we can just start it. 5. $180 L on do on 3. Right. GB. Blue. Yes. I'm only going to advanced sequence because there's certain things I like to put in. Right, Eye of Sauron, we're all good. Cool camera. Right, target imaging instructions. Target imaging instructions. Triggers. Do I do an autofocus after time, after HFR increase? I don't know. I could do it in filter change, but put it after time the now. Center after drift. That's what I wanted. There we go. It was the wrong thing I was on. Right, if I want maximum arc minutes 10, yeah, that's fine. We can adjust that if need be, but that seems like quite a lot. We can maybe put that down to 5 actually. Right, now that's sorted. When the camera cools, it should start. Right, let's have a double check. Sun luminance. Triggers. Autofocus after 60 minutes. We could maybe change that, we'll see. See how it goes. Center after drift, that's fine in case it clouds over and we lose our target. Loop until astronomical dawn, which is giving us like 7 hours. 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah, 4 in the morning, that sounds about right. All our exposures are set up, they're every 3 even. 3 minutes, 5 of each skin hour to start with. Right, we're already there. There is the Eye of Sauron there, of course the obligatory satellite. There's lots of other wee fuzzy things as well. Right, this could be interesting. It's getting a bit of reflection there off of something that'll come out with calibration frames, but it's a bit annoying. Wonder if there's a really bright star close to it. Not really. I'm really just trying to get my head round about using advanced sequencer. I always used to use the legacy sequencer and it was good here and there, but it's good for nearly everything. But when you want to start adding things a bit more advanced, well, fun enough, you've got to go to the advanced sequencer. So I'll be trying to learn it bit by bit, and if you're just scared of it and don't do anything, then you'll never learn it. So the last couple of times I've used advanced sequencer and it's all been good, but things like that, just forgetting to actually press play to actually activate the cool camera before we'll start a sequence, just, geez John, simple things. Sitting here wondering why nothing's happening, the camera's not even cooling. So that's why I'm just scrolling up and down. I'm really just double checking everything I've put in. I say I might change the autofocus to maybe on filter. I'll see how the exposures come out and how they're looking. Centre after drift seems fine. It's very small, it's very fuzzy as well. The southern and western sky is really dark. The sort of north-east, not as good, but obviously as the image shows, we're seeing something. It could be clearer, but I think we'll just need to take what we can get. Well, that's one image in, but what I'm going to do is do a live stack as well. Start live stack. Stack options. I don't know why it never puts in the name of the target for some reason. I've got one of the cats in there now. We've got Tiger in the room. But maybe see if we put it back onto the astro room. You can see our big ginger cat Tiger on the bed. He's a right old boy, 19 this year coming up. He's had a good old life. He does like to spend a bit of time in the astro room here. It's nice and cosy. In fact, all the cats generally like to spend a bit of time in the astro room here, but at least Tiger just lies down and keeps himself to himself. Some of the other cats, they would be all over the desk here, all over the keyboard, just causing havoc basically. But yeah, Tiger's a good old cat. Hey Tiger. Yeah, busy cleaning. No, that's Tiger, and this is me as well, obviously. Right, what I was going to do... the HFR is quite low, 2.87. It's really good. It's really good for me, for my setup. HFR 2.87. That's really low. Generally, I'm in like the 3s, 4s, low 5s, and that tends to still be quite a good night. Yeah. Seems to have picked not too bad a star for guiding on. Okay, so far so good. Just clicking about here now. Right, let's zoom out a little bit. And we can just keep an eye on that and see when it's going to be crossing the meridian, when it's its highest point. It does help the higher up in the sky you're looking at things. When I start looking at trying to image things down at 30 degrees or less, it's just the guiding's absolutely terrible. The HFR's are way up. It's just not very good. Yep, all looks okay. I like to keep an eye on the cable as well. Usually you can see if it starts to drag or starts to catch on anything, but it's the only cable that comes off the scope is the 12 volt power. Everything else is all self-contained on the telescope and on the mount itself, so there's nothing else. You can see the flat panel there, the back of the flat panel that's folded over. And yeah, what I was saying earlier about the Focus Cube Zero, the autofocuser is attached to these 4 bolts here, and you can just see the pulley there, and I've got a belt coming all the way down. It's obscured with the camera, and I've got the big pulley in here, and I've also got a homemade tensioner on the other side. So yeah, it was the only place I could put it. It used to sit with its the mount that it came with on the back of the focuser, but it sticks out far too far and would get in the way if the camera wanted to rotate clockwise. Probably not an issue. I could just have had everything rotating anti-clockwise all the time, but just in case for some reason there was an issue and it wanted to go the other way, I didn't want it to be bumping into anything and cause damage to something. So there's free space for 360 degrees motion for everything after the CA to turn. Not that you'd ever want it to go, it only really needs to go as far as 180 degrees in any direction to get anything framed up properly that you need anyway. So that's why there's this big loop of cable here, just for the amount of free play that you sort of need for the camera to turn. Right, next image in. What's the stats? 2.85. Yeah, they're all within the ballpark each other now, the last three. Okay, all looking good so far. Temperature is down at 0 degrees. Wonder what the outside temperature is. Saying 5.50. What we're at now? 4.4 it's saying there. 4.5. 4.5. The dew point's right on it. 4.4. Yeah. 0.1 of a degree between the temperature and the dew point. The humidity must be well up then. Yeah, 99%. Yeah, when we did start, when we set up at, what's that going to be, 5 o'clock, there was a fair difference, but it soon caught up with itself. Yeah. 11.2 degrees when we started at 5 o'clock, down to 4.5 now. So not an awful lot to see on the images coming through because the Eye of Sauron is so small. But if we can keep nice dark skies, then we should be able to pull out a bit of detail just over time. And I do like this wee galaxy as well. It's showing quite a good bit of detail. All looks a bit smudgy now, the Eye of Sauron. I don't know what this here is as well. There's certainly something very faint there as well. Interesting. Well, you know, it's something I've never done before, so why not? Give it a go, eh? I should really have done a YouTube live video tonight. It's something I've not done in ages, is make a wee live, just broadcast live for anyone just to tune in and watch. Because what I'm just going to have to do with this is just, well, edit it all down really. And then put a wee video out on YouTube. What I might do tomorrow then, if it is going to be good weather tomorrow, nice clear skies and I'm back out here, I might just do a live broadcast tomorrow. If this target looks quite promising tonight, we'll just keep on the same tomorrow. Yeah, I really should have done a bit of reading up on the Eye of Sauron, just for a bit of info on it. See what it says actually. I mean, I have seen some videos of other people imaging it, but I don't really know an awful lot about it. It comes from Lord of the Rings. There you go. Not a Lord of the Rings fan, so I didn't know that. Everyone else out there that knows anything remotely about Lord of the Rings will be like, how do you not know what the Eye of Sauron is? So there you go. From Lord of the Rings. I just know it as the name of a galaxy. Not read too much into that now then, since I know absolutely nothing about Lord of the Rings. No point in me adding anything to that. But I'll definitely need to read up on that, just for my own knowledge. And yeah, say no more about that now then. Tiger's got himself nice and comfortable on the bed. That'll be handy when I want to go for a wee snooze in a bit. Bed taken up back at. Doing a dither. Let's see how many arc seconds it moves after the dither. If the sky was a little bit darker and over towards the east, it would show up so much more. Let's do a little star check in the corners. SCT can be a bit bad for sort of egg-shaped stars in the corners. Just almost like there. I need to really look into the back focus, see if I think the back focus is slightly out. Yeah, it's quite bad on this side. Guaranteed it'll probably be fine on the right hand side. I mean, I'm zoomed in quite far here. Yeah, they're all a little bit out. According to the aberration inspector in Hocus Pocus, it said that I was too close to the sensor and had to increase the back focus distance, but it didn't give me any indication about how much. It can't be much, it must be a fraction of a millimetre, because measuring the back focus with digital calipers, it's coming up absolutely perfect, but it must be out slightly. It's not going to really affect this image because I will be cropping this down a little bit just because it's so small, so all these bad stars on the outside will get cropped out, but still, if I was imaging something that was going to take up the full field of view, I would be wanting to keep as much of the image as possible, so I'll need to look into that and 100% make sure the back focus is perfect. Just after fitting the camera angle adjuster, it took me a long time with spacers and spacer rings and whatnot trying to get the back focus, well, what I thought was perfect, but it does seem to be out very slightly. It's fine that it's too close, because then it's quite easy to extend it slightly. I mean, I do have more room to bring the back focus in, but there's not a lot left. Everyone I spoke to and I've seen online were like, oh no, SCTs, you would never be able to get a camera angle adjuster if you're using an off-axis guider and filter field, but there's actually plenty of space. If I say plenty of space, I mean like millimetres to spare. So the fact that it's saying is I'm too close, it's fine. There's plenty of scope for making it, for increasing the length very slightly, but it must, I'm going to say it's less than a millimetre. But I do have spacer rings of various sizes from 0.2 millimetres up to a millimetre, so one night when the moon's out and it's not very good for imaging, I might do a trial and error with the back focus spacing and see if I can get it a little bit better. It's really handy having the CA. I've used it so many times since I've had it installed. It just gives you the opportunity to frame up objects absolutely perfectly, rather than before where it was just like, well, I had the camera sitting at 0 degrees, sitting sort of perpendicular to everything else, just square on, so some things fitted perfectly, other things were wildly out and just no chance. The Horsehead Nebula was one. Trying to get the flame in the Horsehead in was just impossible, the way I had the camera sensor, the way it was framed up. I'd had to went out and manually adjusted things and then check it and manually adjust, and thinking, really, it's such a faff. And then trying to take flat frames as well at that exact angle, it means you've just got to leave everything the same until the flats are done, whereas now I can, if I wanted to, I could image different targets through the night at different angles and just take flats for all those different angles afterwards, because I can just go straight back to where it was. And since all that metadata is stored in images, it's quite easy to find out which camera angle you took certain pictures at. It just makes things a lot easier. A lot more complicated at the time to install it and set it all up. It was a real pain to fit, mainly because of the focuser, to be honest. It was the biggest issue. But a bit of tinkering and a bit of rebuilding, and It's all good. It's all working fine. On the red filter now as well. It's red. Luminance. Red. Two 293, 289, 288, 292, 285, 287. They're all pretty much exactly the same, which is fine. I would rather everything being the same rather than up and down, up and down. Same with guiding. I would rather if the guiding was bad all night rather than good and then bad and then good and bad. And it's those nights you're thinking, what is going on? Is there something wrong with the mount? Is there something wrong with a setting someplace? Is it just the seeing that's going up and down? It's so frustrating. It's really good in one part of the sky, it's really bad somewhere else. Because so far, it's all very consistent. The guiding numbers have been staying as 1.00. The HIFR's all been consistent. So I'm going to assume that the seeing conditions tonight so far have been quite consistent. So this is my channel. It's a very small YouTube channel. A lot is to do with the fact that I hardly ever make videos and I hardly ever broadcast live, because just trying to get the weather conditions to be out here imaging is just so hard, and it's been particularly bad this year. Last year I made a few videos. I mean, nothing huge, but I put out a couple of things. This winter season's just been terrible. Anytime I have came out, it's like clear, then half an hour later it clouds over, and that's been it all night. It's just, I've not even set up the microphone and webcam because there's just been no point. I've just been struggling to do anything at all. So to actually have got potentially tonight get a full clear night, it's been such a rare occasion, so I've not made any videos at all. So my channel's absolutely teensy. I think I might have 12 subscribers, so no YouTube Play Award coming my way anytime soon, which is fine. The YouTube videos are really just a little side thing from the astrophotography. Since I'm sitting here all night in the shed, I may as well just sit here and talk to a camera. Doing another dither. And I quite like editing the videos down as well. It just gives me something else to do when I get the time. Not that they're particularly well edited or anything, but I'm really just learning that as well. Because I do it so infrequently, trying to remember again even just how to edit things down. I'll be back to looking at more tutorials, just try to work out how to work my own software for the editing. But it's quite interesting. So hopefully after tonight and maybe even tomorrow night I could put a wee video together and stick it out on YouTube. It could well be the very first one of this astro season. I'll need to check back. I don't know. I don't even know if I've put anything out at the end of the year at all, and certainly nothing at the start of the year. And really give it to the end of April here, and I'll need to be packing up everything in the observatory, because that'll be me till winter again. The skies are just too clear to do any astrophotography after the end of April. Generally 8 weeks either side of the longest day. It's not really worth it. At this latitude that I'm at, 58 point something degrees north, the sky just starts to get too clear. So generally 4 months of the summer months, apart from imaging the sun, I do have a solar filter I could put on the end of the scope and try and do a bit of solar observing. Apart from that, there's really not much else I can be doing. I just look forward to September again and get back to it. 6 hours to astronomical dawn. That's 10, 11, 12, yeah, so 4 in the morning. Just past 4 in the morning. Moving on to green now. That's us halfway through the first session. Before this finishes, if it's all looking good, I'll just extend it for another few hours. I don't know if it's worth doing autofocus every hour, if the temperature's going to stay much the same. I certainly may adjust the exposures. I might do another LRGB and then maybe just concentrate on luminance. Plenty of time to be changing that though. Once we do the green and the blue, I can go for an RGB combination and that'll give us more of an idea of what it looks like. As live stacking goes, it's not the best. There's not really much settings you can sort of adjust on the hoof if you like to. Might just pause this for now because there's not a lot happening in now, and then I'll gonna get another cup of tea and have a wee look about outside and whatnot. But I shall come back to this.